Hello, I thought I'd give you a quick tour of my current Lego setup to show you where it's at and what I'm doing at the moment. It's not perfect and there's a lot of messy bits going on because I'm having a bit of a sort out at the moment, but I thought that would be more interesting to see than a flashy room that's got thousands and thousands of pounds worth of Lego in. So let me show you. So I've got this cabinet, which is kind of my main display cabinet. It's from IKEA. When the cabinet comes, it's got a middle partition wall in it, which I took out, and then I built an inner frame, an inner wooden frame to go up and then round the top and back down, so that I could anchor the bottom of these glass shelves to it, because obviously having taken the wall out, there was nothing to put them on. And that what that gave me then was a consistent space the whole way through, for both top and bottom, so that I could have a town on the bottom and the space on the top. So I planned to have town on the bottom, space on the top, and then a space base on the top of that. So we'll start with that. So what we've got up here is a sort of like a landing port display, and it's built out of 3 large sections. You can see here these sections are built as separate pieces that can connect together. So the idea is that I would build them similar to Mills plates. They're kind of like Mills, but not exactly, because obviously here we don't have joining parts. But at some point I will add those so that, you know, you could expand out in the future. And, you know, you never know, I might end up getting a bigger house and having more space to actually display things. And at that point, I probably would build more of these. But they're on the biggest sized Lego boards you can get. And then we've got grey pieces all around the edge, and then bricks in between, and then bases on top of that to form the platforms. And I've gone slightly higher than one high, because under this is multicolour ones, because I didn't have enough grey to sort of make it up. But also by doing that, I can hide a lot of the electronics, because each one of these boards lights up to some degree. So we've got like a lava pit here, and then landing lights down here on this one. And on this one we've got lights in that back building, some more lava down there. And all of these have an LED connector in them, powered by USB. So there's 3 powered boards there. It would be quite nice if they all kind of like connected together as one power source, but I don't really know how I could do that. The lighting kits that are on these aren't specific kits. I just bought some generic lighting kits from probably AliExpress, something like that, where they have just tiny little light fittings, like these ones for example. They're very generic. It's just a tiny little LED, which you can then obviously put inside a brick, like, I can't even do it now, anyway, yeah, like that. So which creates the landing lights for these. And then on for those, they're kind of like longer strip lights, but they're hidden underneath the bricks so that they create light to come up through them. So that's the space base on top. It's modular, obviously, because you can change the layout of this. And the idea would be that I could add more boards to those in the future. And then under here, we've got kind of the next thing down, which is similar in that we've got some large boards again. So you could actually, you know, you could connect these to those if you had a much larger display area, which I don't. But if you did, you could connect them together using the kind of the Mills connections. So these ones, they make use of original boards on top of the Mills plates, and they are connected to them so they don't move. So in this one we've got the original Galaxy Explorer set at the back, and then some other ships sort of suspended on the walls with 3D printed mounts that aren't perfect. Yeah, as you can see, they fall off. But it kind of gets more sets in and kind of elevates them out of the way. And at the back I've just got a simple cardboard, black cardboard and grey and white cardboard sort of backing to make it look a little bit nicer. And then we've got our main Lego figures, our space figures. I'm trying to go in multiples of 5, so I mean I do have more than that. But for this display, we're just kind of doing multiples of 5. So obviously we've got 10 here and 10 here and 10 here. But then we get to complicated things like the green spaceman, who I don't know how on earth I'm going to get 5 of them because they're so expensive. And then we've got some gaps because there's going to be more coming when they become available by Lego. So we've obviously got the turquoise one's going to go there, and gold's going to go there. And then I've got, you know, some gaps here that need to be filled. So these 3 aren't proper grey ones, and there's one black man missing on the end, but we'll get there eventually. It just takes a while because they're so damn expensive now. I mean, like, you know, these guys are looking at like £80 a shot for either of these. As you know, same thing with the grey one, so it's not like I can easily fill up the gaps. This side I used to use for photography, and I still do, which is why the Galaxy Explorer sat there, because the Galaxy Explorer was originally, the original concept for this was that I would build large plates that the Galaxy Explorer could sit on, and it would look like a landing pad for it, because there's nothing, you know, it was so big it couldn't fit anywhere else. But I've made this one quite recently, and it's bigger than the Galaxy Explorer, so it needs to sit on there. And the Galaxy Explorer now sits in here, which is actually more fragile anyway, so it's probably better that it's in storage. So I usually use this for photos if I'm doing any sort of like posed photos, because up at the top here I added LED lights into this cabinet, and it casts such a nice general glow that photography turns out quite nice. So if I want to take pictures of figures or just a very small scene, I'll take that out, set them up in here, and then you've got quite a nice even lighting, which gives quite nice photos. And then under this is my town, which is pretty much all custom apart from the boutique hotel, but all the buildings, you know, they're all ones that I've designed. We've got the sticker kit in HQ, which is my wife's business, and I've made a Lego model of it. And then we've got this building, which I'm currently working on. It needs a top floor, and it needs that middle floor working on. In there is a market in there, and then we've got like a park next to it with a greenhouse at the back. We've got the boutique hotel, and then we've got a police station, and then two more buildings. The last building at the end is a bakery. Oh yeah, this was a toy shop. So the stickers that are on them came from Lego. When we were in Legoland once, they had a reduced offer on some of these like packs of Lego stickers. So I got those, and then I kind of based the buildings around that. If anyone at any point fancies seeing inside the buildings, I can do more in depth inside them. But yeah. So then we've got, each one of these is built onto, again, a Mills plate, even the boutique hotel, and that's mostly so that they're stronger on the base. Because if you use quite a standard, you know, a standard thickness base plate, they're very flimsy. So if I want to move anything around, things tend to fall apart. But with the Mills plates, they don't. So it makes it nice and strong. And then we've got what I've made of road boards in front of them just to kind of complete it. And then I can park my vehicles down the front. This is kind of still a work in progress. I want to get a lighting kit for the boutique hotel. Most of the other ones have lights. They're all individually lit, so they've all got their own sets of lights, and they're all custom, just generic light sets that I've got from the internet, where I've just kind of put lights wherever in the buildings, apart from like the lampposts. Obviously they're very specific ones. They're not actually Lego, those lampposts. When you buy them, they come as a preset thing. So I've just been swapping out the Lego lampposts for these off-brand ones as I've needed them. So I want to get a lighting kit for the boutique hotel, and that would kind of complete the lot, because they're all lit up then. And there's a few little bits I kind of want to do on it, but I don't really have the time. But one of the main problems with these lighting kits is they're very temperamental, because if you see here on this, how that one at the end is lit up, but part of it isn't. So this side is bright and this one isn't. I can't really work out what that is, whether the LEDs are burning out or something, because I mean, if you look at those ones there, they're so dim. And so are these two here. Those are both lights and they're very dim, but then the ones inside aren't. So I don't know. I can't really work it out. It might just be faulty lighting, or maybe it's power related, but I can't really tell. So that's kind of the cabinet. We've got a lot of figures in there, and we've got some guys at the back with some extra models that I'm kind of put in there. It's just kind of storage. And then on the wall next to it, we've got some little shelves that I've added recently. One's got the large mobile base on it, and then we've got all of the kind of like space baby stuff down here, and then my truck with ship and the second version Cosmic Rovers down there with the Blacktron on the wall. And my little robot dude. So that kind of like completes it off, and I think that looks quite nice in that corner. But really, that's all the space that I've got for display, because unlike all these people in America who seem to have massive rooms of Lego, we've got a small 3-bed house that we've got 3 kids in, so we can't really spare a lot of space. So this is kind of like my corner. But then I also have Lego storage on top of that, which I'll show you now. So on top of that, we've also, this area is a bit of a tip at the moment because I'm building some storage here, which I'll show you which I'll show you in a second. But we've got 3 glass domes, which are quite dusty. These are individually lit, but they're not plugged in because I haven't got any plugs down here at the moment, but I will do at some point. So we've got a Pirates one, the gift with purchase watchtower set, and then a little kind of like space scene. And these all would light up if they were plugged in, and they look quite nice actually when they're done. And at some point I will run power over here because I want to light up this cabinet as well. And this is, I don't know if I can open this. I can open this. This is my castle setup. We've got the blacksmiths, which is on, again, it's on Mills boards so that I can move it, otherwise it's almost impossible to move. And then it's got like a little walkway here. And at the back, that one, I can't remember what the name of it is, but there's a castle set, I can't remember what number it is, that I bought, and I didn't entirely like it when I built it, so I've turned it into like a smaller single tower, using only the parts from that set, which I think came out quite nice. And then that joins on to my personal castle that I've built, just with all my castle parts, and it kind of forms its own little scene in there, which I think is quite nice. Eventually there will be lighting for that as well. I need to sort that out. And then underneath we've just got the modern space stuff that I've kind of stored down there because I don't really have anywhere else for it to go. I quite like the modern stuff, but I don't display it as much as the classic stuff. I do like it, but I probably won't really collect it in any kind of level. It just doesn't have the same kind of vibe as the classic space stuff. So now we've got 2 cabinets. We've got this one, and we've got one that I'm currently building. So this one is kind of generic storage. We've got this tiny door set where I store all of the bits for people and equipment and accessories, and all that stuff goes in there. And then we've got a few shelves that have all of the kind of the models that we've been building, that I've been building with my kids at the moment. Some of these are going to get scrapped so we can build other ones, and then some of them are going to get tidied up. This one here is going to be a car transporter when it's done. We've got a helicopter and stuff, but this is just somewhere for my kids to store their stuff when they come up here to play. And then on this shelf we've got some of my other models that are just kind of really badly dumped up here. But we've got the Galaxy Explorer, and then my Futuron version of the Galaxy Explorer, and then my Futuron ship, Blacktron ship, a little house that I've been building recently just because I built it out of parts while I was there. My pirate ship's up there as well, just about fits. So this is just kind of like a dumping ground for storing models, and then there's some 3D printed bigger figures down there. And then this here will be, or it currently is, the main storage of all my actual bricks for building. So if anyone's interested, I might do a lowdown on an explanation on how I store and separate out my bricks for sorting, because I find that quite interesting. So maybe we'll do that one. So we've got all the bricks for storing up there, and then these bricks on this this shelf. This is all the space related stuff. Everything in here is space coloured. So I use that as quick access to any space stuff if I want to start building a space model. So I keep blue, yellow and grey pretty much separated out into those, so it's easier. And there's a couple more boxes under there, but this is just something that I'm doing at the moment, putting the storage in, so I need to build a door to go on there. And this goes out over into the staircase to access the office. So it used up some dead space that was there. But that's pretty much it in terms of my Lego and my storage. So it's not grand as, you know, other people's, but it's quite nice. I just thought it'd be interesting to show you it, because a lot of the stuff that you see online with people with these massive collections can make you think that, you know, you have to do it yourself, you have to get these big collections and you have to buy everything that comes out. But that's not really how I've been buying. I buy a lot secondhand, car boot sales and eBay mostly, and that's pretty much where I'm getting all my bricks from, because I would say that I buy more secondhand bricks to build my own things than I do actually buying any models. It's pretty rare that I actually buy a full-on model, usually only if Lego actually make a new classic space model, otherwise, or if I'm buying something for the kids. Otherwise I just buy Lego in the right colours to build classic space, or like on Pick a Brick I'll just buy a load of, you know, random bricks, and then I'll just build, usually without a plan. I'll just start building, you know, whatever I want, and that's pretty much how I do it. So I just thought it might be interesting to see, because when you look on Instagram it might look like I've got, you know, this massive collection and massive amounts of space, but I really don't. And I just find it interesting to see, you know, how everyone else has all their stuff stored. So, you know, drop in the comments if you've got, you know, your own little space, and, you know, how you store your stuff. I'd be interested to know. Right, well that's that from me. I'll catch you later. Bye.